The Pgmol have released the video VAR footage of the communication in the Tottenham Liverpool game, and what an absolute shambles. Yes, guys, hello and welcome back to the SpursRelated YouTube channel and podcast. I hope you're doing very well today. Today, we are going through, as I said in the intro, the Pgmol have released the VAR audio footage from the Spurs-Liverpool game, from the controversy, and my goodness, I couldn't quite believe what I was seeing. I knew it was a bad decision, but wow, the absolute shambolic communication here deserves the video alone. Guys, if you do like this type of video, please smash the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. The channel is growing day by day, and I appreciate all the support on Jack's vlog, as well as the recent videos we've done as well on the channel. But, Jack, very quickly, can you believe what you've just seen? Can you believe that statement?
To be honest, it's an absolute disgrace and a massive injustice. I would be absolutely mortified if I was a Liverpool fan. There's a lot to talk about, James, but you'd be fuming, wouldn't you?
Absolutely fuming. And just to put this on the screen straight away, this was the finals correct still. As you can see, even when they're doing the, using the VAR technology, it says checking disallowed goal, offside. Obviously, they were checking the decision of the offside that the linesman gave, which was incorrect. But, I don't think this is too much the linesman's fault, although it's clearly onside. I'm not too sure what his eyes were seeing there. But the fact of the matter is, right, it went to VAR very quickly after Diaz scored. Great goal, by the way. I know that's not going to help anyone Liverpool watching this, but my point is, I'm genuinely not even trying to wind Liverpool fans up that may watch this, but the statement goes like this, Jack. We got to dissect it very, very quickly. So the PGMO has released the footage, as we know. As stated shortly after the full-time whistle on Saturday evening, they acknowledged that the statement is a significant human error had occurred, and they now recognise that as a result, in a goal being awarded should have happened through VAR intervention. It also goes on to say, as with all goal situations, the VAR team checked every aspect of the goal after the on-field official had disallowed the goal for offside. The checking phase and process started and was carried out correctly by the VAR. The kick point selection was accurate, and the use of the single 2D lines on the foot was also correctly positioned. The image created showed that Luis Diaz was clearly onside without the need for its insertion of a second line. In a lapse of concentration and loss of focus in the moment, the VAR lost sight of the on-field decision and correctly communicated check complete, therefore inadvertently confirming the on-field decision. He did this without any dialogue with the assistant VAR. Now, Jack, this is a massive communication error. To just quickly speak this in basic terms, the assistant VAR sitting next to the VAR official in that room. The VAR guy is so confident it was onside. He doesn't even need to draw a second line, right? So they've seen that it is onside. Now, without even communicating, saying you need to overturn the decision, which was offside, they've just gone, yeah, all good, mate. Basically, he was so casual about it. He was like, yeah, all good, mate. And then you can hear the assistant VAR go to the VAR guy. You sure you're all right with that? He was onside, and he going, yeah. And then he said the on-field decision was offside. So you need to tell him that this needs to be a reverse decision. And then obviously then in a panic, the VAR guy is going, oh, okay, massive mistake. The replay operator is then saying, delay the game, stop the game. And they've already played on at this point. The referee went, continue. Spurs fans went nuts in the stadium. I mean, how bad is this, Jack? I mean, VAR then went on to say you can't do anything we've restarted, and as per the laws of the game, they're not permitted to intervene when play had actually restored. So, what an absolute shocker, right?
Yeah, I think that the inability to make real simple decisions is extremely worrying with the amount of money we've invested in technology over the past decade. And it just never seems like we can get something spot on. And I think, in fairness, Luis Diaz was comfortably onside, but everyone makes mistakes. So the linesman knows he has VAR behind his corner to back up a simple decision like that. But the inability to have a bit of simple communication, James, between the linesman and VAR to say, this is my decision, I've called it offside, take your time and look at it. It won't take longer than a minute. They've panicked and they've gone straight away and they've chose the decision. And it's like they both know what they're doing. They know it's onside comfortably, but because they're in such a rush and they're worried about the backlash of timing and making sure the speed of the game isn't slowed down, they've completely mucked it up. And realistically, James, you need to get the right decision. If that takes 2 minutes, then albeit, but it's a real injustice for Liverpool fans.
I think you're right there. It's to do with they're conscious that they're going to get backlash about how long the decisions were taking. If you remember when the VAR was introduced, actually, they were taking so long with decisions, sometimes up to 5 minutes, and then additional time was becoming ridiculous. Now, actually, it's the opposite. They're rushing these decisions, and even though they've actually drawn the lines correctly, they've actually used VAR correctly, the communication with the on-field referee is not there. And they're actually so casual about it. They're just going, yeah, all good, mate. Or, carry on, fine. They don't actually say what their decision is in regards to the actual referee's decision. So clearly here, they're so comfortable and casual about it. They're like, yeah, all good, mate. And then the referee's gone, great work, lads, or something, which is turned into a bit of a meme on Twitter. But actually, what they should say to the referee is there should be an extra stage, which I believe they're now introducing because of this, which is they've reviewed it. The VAR's made their correct decision. Now they should tell the referee exactly what that decision is rather than just going, yeah, all good. Yeah, agreed. All good. Check the lines. Like, you need to be more specific than that. You need to say it's offside or it's onside or you need to overturn it or your correct decision stands. It's unbelievable how just lackluster and brainless and just lazy this is. It is really, really, really poor.
Also,
And I'm going to be honest, Jack, just very quickly, I'm going to be honest. I've been loving the fact that we've robbed Liverpool. We normally get a lot against us, I feel like, anyway. And everyone gets to rub with the green at some point. But this is actually a disgrace. Coming from a Tottenham fan, this is a disgrace, this decision. Because if this was on us, we would be fuming. We would be absolutely livid. And yes, some Liverpool fans are overreacting. I do think that. But at the same time, I'm going to be honest, this is awful. This is actually like laughable how bad it is. It is a terrible, terrible decision. And then just to quickly go on, there's other suggestions being made off the back of this. Do Liverpool deserve a replay? Should Tottenham be docked 2 points so it should be a draw? I don't think so because that decision was much earlier in the game and the result could have been a lot different. If it was 11v11, it could have been 3-1 Liverpool. If it was 11v11, it could have been 2-1 Tottenham. Who knows? You can't just dock points. But what I would say is they need to make sure they don't do this again.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What are we going to get out of this now? It's took a real serious mistake, really. Tottenham were playing the better football, albeit they had a red card before Luis Diaz scored. But in their heads, they've just scored a completely legitimate goal that's been chalked off due to a lack of just common sense, really. But in the future now, it's all about making the right decisions. Fine, if it takes an extra 10 seconds, then it takes an extra 10 seconds because you don't want it to completely disrupt the flow of the game VR decisions. But you'd like to think with the technology they've introduced over the past season or two, they can easily get a simple decision like that in 40 seconds. I think don't rush it, make the right decision, and then less of situations will happen like we're in today.
Yeah. Absolutely, completely agree. Do Liverpool deserve a replay? Should this game be replayed?
Definitely not. Definitely not. No chance. I'm not just saying that as a Spurs fan. People make errors everyday life. Human errors, nurses, doctors, when they're doing operations. It is part of life. And at the end of the day, it's a football game. Liverpool is completely wrong, but there's nothing you can do about it now. Tottenham don't deserve to have to play another 90 minutes when they've had nothing to do with it. So they're not their fault at all. VAR have made the complete wrong decision. They've stuck out through that game and they found a way to win. They could have, who knows, they may have played better football if they went 1-0 down because they'd actually come at them a bit more and find a way to break them down, force a way to get in behind. Loads of decisions have been made wrong, James. I remember, I think a couple of years ago, a goal was clearly over the line. I think it was in a relegation battle as well. It might have been Sheffield United. And a goal wasn't given because goal line technology didn't work. Tottenham, if you remember, played Sheffield United. I think it was 1-1 under Mourinho. And a ball was smashed at Mora from about 2 yards away. And because it hit his hand, even though it's been booted at him on the floor, they chalked off the goal. It's all about learning curves, and it shouldn't have to be replayed. Tottenham take the points. Figure a way to make sure it doesn't happen again, but no chance should there be a replay.
Yeah, no, completely agree. And to go back to this sort of question we put on, what needs to change in terms of the officiating? I think it is that extra step. I think they need to just make sure the communication between. It's a high pressure moment, right? They've got 2,000 fans in the stadium. You've got millions watching around the world. The referee wants to just get the game going again. He's got a lot of pressure on him. The game's stopped. He's getting shouted abuse from everywhere. And then it's just that moment of madness where VAR is so laid back and so casual, they don't even communicate properly with that referee in that high pressure situation. They just go, yeah, all good, mate. They're literally calling each other mate. They're talking like they're at the pub. I mean, come on, let's have a little bit of professionalism here as well. Like, talk to them as if it's a real job. They're so laid back, and it's almost like they're a bit arrogant in a way. It came across. I'm viewing it as they were a bit arrogant anyway. And so I just think that they need to just go, look, our decision is this. You need to overrule your decision, or you need to give it as offside or onside, whichever one. They need to think about what the referee or linesman gave in order to then be able to communicate what the difference is in decision that they've come up with. If you just say all good, mate, what does that mean? That means nothing.
James, my biggest worry is a lot of people who are behind VAR seem to not understand the simple concept and I guess the beauty of football. You've got a lot of people who are good with technology, which is important. Well, I guess that can be argued. But you haven't necessarily got someone in the game knowing what's happening, knowing the direction the game's going in, knowing the challenges that are being made, and knowing what, because they didn't know. They didn't know that the decision that was given on field was offside. And that's laughable. That's ridiculous. And that clearly shows that the officials don't know what's going on. They're not ex-football players. They're not people who understand the game. And yes, I know it can't all just be football players in the VAR room, but there should be someone in there who understands it more than someone who's never played the sport before.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. Guys, let us know what you think on this topic down below in the comments. Make sure you smash the thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, comment your thoughts. Is this I mean, it is an utter disgrace. There's not even a debate about this. But what needs to be done about VAR? Do you think that somehow Liverpool deserves some justice other than a simple, I guess, apology? What needs to be done next so that these decisions do not ever happen again? I think this is inexcusable again, and I think they need to just completely have a good check throughout their whole VAR system and their whole referees. This goes for officiating in the whole league, actually. They need to just review exactly who they've got in their roster and make sure that they're all trained and well equipped to be able to referee games that are worth millions of pounds at the end of the season. Those 2 points that Liverpool technically lost out on could be the difference between them getting Champions League spots, which are worth hundreds of millions of pounds every season, and not. And I'm saying this as a Tottenham fan. If this was the other way around, guys, we would be fuming. I know it's been funny on social media and it's been funny seeing all the outrage, but I'm just being level-headed and realistic. That decision is shocking and cannot happen again. Anyway, like I said, please like, subscribe, and comment below your thoughts, and we will see you very soon. Remember, as always, come on, you Spurs! and VAR. Sort yourself out.